You know, in all sincerity, it amazes me, as I'm sure it does all of us, that not so long ago you could say Happy Mother's Day and everyone knew what you meant. There was never even a question in anyone's mind. You could say it in the church loudly and proudly. You could say it in the town square. You could say it on national news. You could say Happy Mother's Day to all of you women out there, and it wouldn't be seen as controversial. It wouldn't have been seen as an inflammatory statement. You wouldn't be chastised by some angry mob on social media for the simple implication that only women can be mothers. And as much as we joke and we laugh, it's a testament to the wickedness. It is a testament to the insanity of our culture and God's judgment on that culture, that we now have to explain what we mean when we say mother. We have to be able to explain the truth of motherhood and defend it. Defend the beauty that was long understood of what makes a woman, of womanhood and motherhood. For years now, what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a mother, the tenderness, the capacity to nurture, the gentleness, the wonder of it, the beauty of it, has come under vicious assault. To the point where today, now a man who has none of those qualities that makes a woman, who does not have the capacity to bear children, yet who identifies as such, we are told, commanded, that we must respect him and that we must accept that he is just as much of a woman as the mother who has borne children. Just as much of a woman as the mother who has experienced the heartache of raising children or the loss of losing children, who has experienced the whole life as a true woman with all of its challenges. It's not just an attack on women. It's not even just an attack on mothers. What it is a wicked and evil attempt to erase them altogether as categories. It is the redefinition, friends, the redefining, not of something man has previously defined, and now we're going back and we're going to change the definition. It's the redefinition of what God has defined. It wasn't man, it was God who made the sexes. It was God who made the genders. It was God that made them different, but compatible. God gave to Adam the strength to till the ground and the soil. God gave to Eve that precious gift of bearing children, by which she was named Eve, the mother of all living. God created and blessed the act of sex and set its boundaries. God defined marriage as being between a man and a woman. God set these things forth. God defined these things. And friends, it's the arrogance of man. It's the arrogance of man that we have begun to believe that we can redefine, that we can reshape and reform all these things according to our own whims and our own desires. This is man trying to set themselves up, as they always have, as God. It is the elevation of man. It is the elevation of his word. It is the elevation of man's rule and man's pride. Because of this corruption, because of this wickedness, because of the incredible greed of man, because of godless leaders, lawmakers, young, confused, in some cases mentally ill children, and young people are being chemically castrated. They are being mutilated because of the lack of truth that is being told, because of a truth that has a church that has been too unwilling to speak the truth and fight against this evil. Don't miss the horror in what I'm about to say. There are young girls all over our country who will never be able to naturally experience motherhood. And there are young boys who will now never become natural fathers because at a young age they were deceived, because at a young age no one told them what was true, and at ages 10, 12, 15, 16, they were allowed to make life-altering decisions, irreversible decisions. By rejecting God's word, by rejecting God's order, we in this era have given way to the most vile, the most wicked, the most despicable social experiment on children that the world has ever seen. And friends, not for years will we even begin to see the destruction that was done. Men and women will be sterilized years from now from a decision they made before they were old enough to drive a car, before they could even graduate high school. This is the path to wickedness. This is the path to destruction that we are on. This is the wrath of God, as Paul says, revealed from heaven against ungodliness. And again, I say the church needs, and by the church, I don't mean pastors and preachers, I mean the church in the world needs to be able to stand up for what is right and be willing to pay the price for that if it comes. And so today we reject the lies and we reject the insanity and the foolishness of our world. And we celebrate women. We celebrate mothers. We give thanks to God today for his ordered nature, for the physical, spiritual union of marriage, for the blessing of children. We celebrate mothers as they are, as God has designed them, created, and defined them. We celebrate the gift they are to the world. We celebrate the gift they have been to each and every one of us. So one last time, happy Mother's Day to every single one of you out there, and know the world needs you. The world needs you. Your children need you. Know that you are cherished, that you are loved, and that you can never, will never be erased.